Okay, bro.
Nice.
I wasn't even paying attention. Hey, I see you.
Okay. Damn, I'm excited for this one, bro. Make sure that it's right here. Make sure it's close to you. There you go.
Stop it.
Stop it. No, this is a good one, bro. This is it's one of those.
It's for the culture.
Them, it's for the culture.
For the culture.
You've been somebody, bro, that you've given so much to music.
Oh, so we're just starting like Hacia Chile, güey.
I used to fuck her.
Do the whole intro,
yeah, the whole intro, but now I feel like I want to have a vibe.
Bro, let's go. You're already making me cry, Dick. I'm just kidding.
No, but I feel like, ever since I met you, 100%, you've always been good to me. And
well, you're a good brother, bro.
Bro, but just even like before we even start this, like officially, I want to say thank you, for always bringing the energy, always giving me advice, and always showing love, no matter what.
I appreciate you even just having me on the show, man. I've been watching you, been watching your growth, sin albur, but watching the vibe that you're putting out, bro, and I'm just estoy orgulloso de ti, bro. I might throw in some Spanglish vibes in there, but that's just my nature of the way I do things. But at the end of the day, I just watching your growth, watching what you do, and I'm very proud of you, bro.
Thank you, bro.
I do have to say that. I am so proud of you, bro. And it's crazy because I think Diosito has an amazing plan for you. And at the end of the day, you know your value, you know your worth, you know where you're going, and you have direction. You're trying to do everything the way it needs to be done. And even me, myself, being here today, I'm appreciative of it because, being an artist and being able to sit down with you and have an actual conversation, I think that's super amazing, bro.
Bro, it's funny because,
te agradece mucho.
Thank you, bro. And I've learned from people like you. My growth, you can't do it alone. You can't do it by yourself. You got to learn from others and just keep it. You know what I mean?
Claro.
And put it into action.
Claro.
So you're a radio host.
Yeah.
You're an artist.
Yeah.
You're a father.
Yes.
And you're a husband.
Yes.
How has life changed since the beginning? Because you've done a lot, bro. You've done so much. I look at your career and I'm like, damn, it's been a lot.
My faith has always kept me in tune. I've drifted a few times.
Like all of us. Yeah.
We drift at times. And, but now my family really keeps me in tune.
I love that, bro.
And I think the most beautiful thing about, your family keeping you in tune is that your kids and your wife are your biggest, they're my biggest fans.
Oof.
And they don't like everything I do. There's a lot of stuff that, oh my God, my wife, she hates a lot of the stuff that I do, a lot of the shit that I do, bro. She hates it.
But she loves you.
Well, of course.
That's what makes it.
Yeah, that's what makes it special, But at the end of the day, she understands the fact that I write songs because I'm a composer, and that I don't write songs nomás por componerlas, just to write them.
Yeah.
Or, I write about past experiences. I was a kid. I fell in love, and when I was a kid, and I had girlfriends, and and I had friends that had girlfriends, and past relationships, and I had friends that will go through some crazy shit with their girls, and I would write about situations like that, and write about situations that maybe not necessarily I went through, but that somebody somewhere could relate to what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So I think that's the most important thing about being a songwriter and a composer is that aside of having your family back you and love what you do, that you're able to write about pretty much anything in life, anything that's going on in the world.
You're a creator.
Yeah. And and you can impact and touch somebody's life and somebody's heart, you know, and that's what's important.
Do you think nowadays the music industry kind of lost that?
I think the music industry lost it a long time ago. I think maybe now some of it's coming back, you know?
Yeah, I feel like people are getting tired of that fakeness, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not going to lie, you know, I wrote the party records and have fun records. I really didn't like writing too much about having money and blowing money and popping bottles. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't, it really wasn't my thing. You know, I was I was more into, because I did a lot of poetry when I was a kid and I used to love writing poetry. And I used to write a lot of love songs. So I write a lot of heartbreak records. I write a lot of love records. I write a lot of relationship records. It doesn't make me a softie because I can write a hard ass record if I want to write one. And I have written a few really cool records like that. It's not what it's about. I think it's when you're in the moment, you're in the studio, depending on what the track feels like, depending on the vibe the track gives you, then that's where you kind of start expressing yourself and you understand what direction to take it. But I do think that people need to come back to real music.
Oh, 100%. I feel like that's why a lot of people are going back and listening to older music. The younger kids are just listening to older music because the new music is not giving you the
substance.
Yes, exactly. But that's why I like reggaeton, bro. Because reggaeton, you can be partying and the lyrics are talking about a heartbreak. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, why am
It's the dembow, bro.
So I'm like, why do I want to get jiggy? But at the same time, I'm like, damn, I miss someone. And I'm happily in love. It makes no sense.
I mean, dude, you can actually even listen to some of the dopest hip hop, even hip hop R&B records. Like, dude, I'm a big fan of Mary J. Blige. I'm a big fan of you know, like back some of the old school records, like Jeanne, like back some of the. I used to love to listen to hip hop and R&B.
Yeah.
You know, hip hop, of course, because that's kind of where I came from, but R&B because
it was different, bro.
It was very different. They would take the hip hop vibes, incorporate them into R&B, and what's funny is that now they're taking all those ideas, and they're putting them into music now.
So true.
I think something that's really dope, and I got to give her flowers. What Karol G did with this dance record that she just did, just to touch into talking about like the vibes from the old to the new.
Yeah.
So Karol G did this record. First time I heard the record, it's called Contigo. It's with DJ Tiesto. So,
I heard it too.
Bro. So the first time I heard the record, I listened and I was like, bro, I know
it sounded familiar, right?
I go, I know that song.
Oh, me too, bro.
I know that song. And then I'm thinking and I'm like, I know what song. Yep. I said, that's Bleeding Love.
Oh my God. But when it hit me, it was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But you know, the crazy thing is that she did the right thing.
Yeah.
Have you seen the video?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she actually went and talked to, what's her name? I forget her name.
I can't remember her name.
Anyway, but she literally asked her for permission.
That's beautiful, bro.
To record the record.
Yeah.
With Tiesto. And she gave her blessing.
So smart. I mean, and the legal things, you know, but at the same time.
Hey, it's the artist telling you, green light, go record the record and have fun with it. Because it's a beautiful record.
Yeah, because a lot of people are like, oh, she stole it. But it's like, no, people don't know that there's been talks behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know, they don't get it.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're back in Utah right now?
Yeah.
How does it feel to be back in Utah?
I love Utah. I actually miss Utah. I was just talking to a coworker of mine at the station that we were just talking about that. I really miss living in Salt Lake.
You miss the weather?
Oh, I love the weather here.
Oh, yeah.
I don't miss the weather. You know, something beautiful about Utah. Let me tell you something. Something beautiful about Utah is you see all four seasons.
So, bro, and in a day.
Yeah, in a day. But you see all four seasons.
Yeah. So true.
You see all four seasons here. And when I first moved here, I fell on black ice, almost broke my ass a couple of times.
It happens.
Getting used to the snow.
Bro.
Getting used to having to shovel out of the crib.
Oh my God.
You know, but I love Utah. And I'm thankful to the homie that actually brought me here. You know, him and I we kind of grew apart a little bit, but I'll still send him a shout out, DJ Vikingo. He asked me to come and stay out here for a couple weeks. I stayed with him. And he introduced me to some people at the radio station. And because of him, I was actually able to lock down the job out here.
Damn.
And, so I give him big ups. I don't, you give respect where respect is due.
Yeah. It's funny you say about the weather, bro, because I don't really hear a lot of people talking about how much they love Utah because of the weather.
Oh, bro.
But lately I've been thinking how I love it because of the cold, bro. Like,
oh, I love the cold.
Like Utah has this weird contrast where like we go through struggle for some time. You know what I mean? It's tough, bro. Waking up, there's no sun sometimes. You're like,
you got to brush the car off with the snow.
Oh my God, bro.
Yeah.
It's struggle, right?
Yeah, it is.
But as soon as those summer days come around, you're so grateful. It feels so good. You get the craziest amount of dopamine just because it's sunny. But somewhere like LA, you're so used to it that you kind of get spoiled to it.
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned that because I've traveled, so I've gotten the chance to tour and travel or whatever. Like, so I go to different parts of the country, and I go to Miami, and people think that 70 degrees is cold in Miami.
Oh my
They're like, oh yeah, it's cold over here, and I'm like, bro. And in LA, we don't hit too cold. I mean, you get in the 40s, mid 40s. It's colder over there because of the Santa Ana winds that are coming off the coast. So it does get chilly. It doesn't get cold.
But it's a beautiful chill.
But it's a beautiful chill, right? But here, it's cold.
It's fucking, bro.
I got off the plane, bro. Y se me congelaron los huevos, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, but I loved it. I was like,
as soon as you hit town, it's like frostbite.
Yeah,
so what
it is.
Fuck?
but there's something about the lake, bro, that you can't like. And mind you, there's a lot of really I look at it in the most positive way. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of amazing people here.
Yeah, bro. It's a different state.
I mean, it's like everywhere else where, you're going to have some haters and some people that really like your stuff and some people that are more neutral or whatever. And, but I mean, that's anywhere. That can happen anywhere. It's not reflective of Salt Lake or Utah in general, but you're going to get that anywhere you go.
How long did you live here for?
I lived here for about 4 years.
4
almost
years?
5, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think Utah gave you the love you deserve?
I think it did.
That's
not.
dope.
I'll say maybe about 90%.
90%. Okay.
But I still do think that it did. I came here with a vision.
Yeah.
Of making Latin music big in Salt Lake.
That was needed back then, bro.
Yeah, when I first moved here, and I think that's one of the reasons too, Vikingo was like, bro, you need to come and you need to do, because he heard me in LA and I met him in LA.
Oh, okay.
And he used to go to the radio station I worked in LA, Latino in LA.
That's dope.
Back then. Yeah, I think he was with Prince Royce or whatever, but we met like
Royce.
but he think I had this transition I went through, and he was like, I think you would make an impact here. And
you did, bro.
Well, I
did.
I came and when I first came, there was we had caramba, and I say we because I feel like I'm part Utah, like because I lived here and I
give a lot to the state too.
So when we had caramba and a couple of we had Club Mambo and a couple little things little vibes that were still around. But there wasn't anything really big and impactful that was really making a lot of noise in the Latino scene out here. And I think what happened was that I came out and I had been out here back in 2003 when I released the first single when I was signed to Fonovisa, the single we were talking about. Maybe we'll get back to that. But
no, let's talk about that.
But the first time that I came here, I came in 2003 to do a show for Telemundo here.
Oh,
they did a Cinco de Mayo festival, and I came with JP, myself, this chick named Flakis, and we came to do the Cinco de Mayo festival, and Telemundo gave me a plaque for coming and do the festival here in Salt Lake. And we did it, I think it was at what's the convention center in downtown? At the Palace? Is it the Salt Lake Palace?
Or is it the Soltaire?
No, not the Soltaire.
The Palace?
It's not the Palace.
I'm not sure.
Anyway, we did it in downtown. Yeah. We did it at one of the convention centers. 7,000 people.
Damn.
And the crazy thing was we had to leave on tour the next day because we were doing the Bible Belt. So we were doing like Kentucky, Alabama, Tennessee. So we literally flew in from LA. We did the show and we flew out the same day right after the show.
Damn.
That was the hardest thing that I ever did, but it was so dope. I didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
And back then when the record, you know, the album, Malagradecida album, like it's called Nuestra Vida, but back then when that album was hitting, you know, we literally got off stage. People were trying to grab our shirts, trying to take our hats.
That's crazy.
And we did, like we gave them, we threw our hats out, we signed shirts, we did. Back then we didn't know like what doing merch was. So we didn't have merch. We were literally giving the shirts off our back to fans, and we couldn't leave. They had to get the Salt Lake PD to actually walk us out.
Damn.
Because the people rushed the stage for us to actually get out because we had to catch a flight.
Yeah.
We literally went from the show to the airport and then came home.
Damn.
So when I was able to come here and actually work here, it brought me back to a good time like that.
Yeah.
So I had already had fans here from back then, and I first came. So when I finally came back, it was like 2015, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, man. I mean, Salt Lake City just showed me that love that a brother needed. And at the time, I kind of felt like I needed to leave LA. I was going through some real tough times in LA, musically and personally. I kind of just needed a breath of fresh air.
Something different.
I needed a break. I needed to get out. And it was more than getting out, because getting out is you can go on the road and do a tour and do whatever. But I just needed to get out of LA. I felt like LA was strapping me down, like it was holding me down more than I needed to.
Toxic?
Yeah, It was very toxic. And don't get me wrong, I was DJing all the major clubs in LA, and I'd been DJing all the major clubs in LA for years and been a staple, you know, rocking all the major clubs in LA. And, but I just needed change. I want to change for myself. I felt I needed change.
Yeah.
So I got the bendición from my family. My family me dieron la bendición, mi esposa, mis hijas, and they said, we're not going to go. We're going to let you go.
That's tough, bro.
But just come back.
Yeah.
So I would come and I would go back every month or every couple of weeks, as much as I could. I would go back to LA within those 4 years. Not enough, but I did, because work was work. So when I got here, that's what we tried to do. And, you know, we tried to make an impact in the Latino market here, to where I brought a new sound to the radio station. You know, I sat down with the general manager, with Mary Lee, and she's been amazing, and I started helping her program music. Well, what songs do you think are hot, and what's hot in LA, and what can be hot here? And we were testing the waters. So back then, Latino was playing a lot of rock en español, a lot of salsa, a lot of bachata, a lot of merengue. They weren't too reggaeton at the time, because there wasn't like that many reggaeton records. There was a few hot ones, but they weren't playing them here. So that's what we did, is we started programming more of the reggaeton.
Damn.
You know, so we wanted to compete in the market, even though it's a singular market for Latino, because it's the only station of its kind in Salt Lake.
Yeah, true.
But we wanted to make an impact to the folks, and we got a lot of backlash for it. We got a lot of backlash for it because the fans of the radio station wanted to hear more rock en español and wanted to hear more salsa,
but you wanted to hear
more bachata, right? Because we were stuck. The radio station was stuck playing classic bachata, classic salsa, classic rock en español. There wasn't any new rock en español records coming out at the time.
Yeah, not at all.
There wasn't new bachata, very few records coming out, and very few salsa records coming out at the time. And reggaeton was hot.
But the culture needed something different.
Right.
For it to move forward, you need to push the boundaries.
Right. So that's kind of what we did, man. And, you know, so we tried to go opposite. We went against the grain, and we did what people didn't want us to do, but we did it anyway.
It's funny how that works, right?
Yeah, but you know what? It's like you look at it now, and I sit back and I literally I was looking at the programming and the list of music that's on now, and I was just like, wow, we come a long way, man.
Wow.
And we're talking like almost 7 years later, you know, and I'm still here. Gracias a Dios, you know?
Bro, I've been like really thinking about doing what nobody else is doing, right?
Right.
And every single time I hear every time I watch a movie or I hear a story of people that moved the culture and did something different,
right?
Somebody always says nobody was doing that. Every single time, nobody was doing that. And nowadays, I'm like, oh shit, I just want to do what nobody else is doing.
Bro, what's the hip hop station? Esta
92.5. The Beat.
Not the Beat. The other station.
And I know the one that Lem runs.
Yeah, Lem and Bangarang and those guys.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, so I forget the name of the station, but anyway, the hip hop station in downtown. So anyway,
well, that's the 92.5.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah. It is 92.5. Yeah, the Beat
with Dre Rock on them.
Yeah, with Dre Rock. Yeah, exactly. So okay, 92. The Beat.
Yeah.
So let me tell you something crazy. So when we started making these changes on Latino in Salt Lake, we started noticing that reggaeton started taking a turn because you started seeing Daddy Yankee doing records with like Snoop.
True.
And doing all these other vibes, right?
True.
So then we saw the Beat actually start playing some reggaeton records.
Really?
Yeah.
So that was the impact already flourishing.
So they started to put some of the stuff we were rocking in rotation, in full rotation. They started rocking it over there. Bro. So they weren't rocking it in full rotation because they still had to play hip hop.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
But they were still rocking the hits.
That's crazy.
The Latin hits.
Damn. How did you feel? Because nobody was doing that here.
Well, I felt like, obviously we ruffled somebody's feathers.
Oh, 100%.
And it's not a bad thing. I think,
Shirley's closer to you.
I don't think it's a bad thing. You know, we ruffled people's feathers and got them moving and got Dre Rock and all these guys to actually like listen to the program. And like, have you listened to these guys, what they're playing? Yeah. And then we started playing in the mix, just random like hip hop records that were hot, but only in the mix, never in rotation.
Yeah.
Because I always felt like as a DJ, just out of respect to the hip hop station, we're not going to program those records, but we can still play them in the mix because people still want. We got people that listen to Latino that listen to that station, so we want to make sure that the people that are listening to us, we don't want them to tune out, and then come back to us.
True.
We want to keep them while we have them. So we play one or two hip hop records or here and there, to the point where it was impactful and it got big. And I saw it grow in the 4 years that I was here. I mean, it was amazing.
It grew big, bro. And like you said, I remember there was no reggaeton here. Like nobody wanted to do it. There was somebody who was like, kind of, dipping their toes in the genre, but since you guys started doing it, it was more of like the culture was like embracing it.
Right.
Like, hell yeah, let's try to do this more,
So, what's crazy is that I had a promoter because we started trying to bring some shows here.
Ooh.
Which was, maybe get them to the clubs but back then, we would try to bring, just some of the artists that were still known here.
Yeah.
But then because of my relationships with a lot of reggaeton artists, because of LA, they would hit me up. How's the market there? Can we take this artist there? Can we take this artist here? Can we bring this artist here? Can we bring this artist here? And I remember a promoter hit me up and asked me about 2 years before Bad Bunny blew up. I had a promoter hit me up and he says, hey, bro, I got this artist. His name is Bad Bunny. He's a new artist.
Legendary, bro.
Bro, he's a new artist. Nobody really knows him. He just started. He dropped maybe a couple of records, but he's not big. But I can get him to do a show for maybe like $10,000.
Damn.
And $10,000 is still a lot of money, but $10,000 to bring Bad Bunny to Salt Lake is really nothing, right?
Yeah.
But I'm thinking to myself, well, will it make sense in Salt Lake?
Yeah.
I didn't think it made sense back then because he was still a new artist. And I feel like I shot myself in the foot because we should have brought him. And I had the people that could bring him, but we never locked it in.
It goes back to that you should have been doing what nobody else was
Shoulda,
doing.
coulda, woulda. You can't go back.
You can't
All
go
you can do
back.
is move forward. And look at now,
Bro.
2024, you know, look where he's at.
So I actually went to that show and it was beautiful, bro. And, you know, talking about that with you, you are, you know, a pioneer of the music scene in Utah, right? When you look at that, bro, how do you feel when you came, there was barely any Spanish music, right? Now you see this guy who brings thousands of people, where the Latin market has switched to another level, where nowadays, I don't even know if like it can even get bigger. It makes no sense. There was so many people in that stadium, bro, that I was like, what's going on? I would have never even thought that this would have happened.
Yeah, you know, I worked really hard to try to get Nicky Jam here, and we just couldn't make it happen. You know,
That would have been crazy.
it would have been crazy. It would have been amazing. But I think what it was is he was doing a show and he was doing his Phoenix tour in Vegas, and we couldn't bring him here. But you know, there's a lot of things that I think one of the things about Salt Lake that I think, and I'm gonna just blatantly say it out. I'm gonna put it out there. There was a lot of amazing shows we could have brought to Salt Lake, but I think the problem was, from my point of view, from what I saw, was that there was a lot of shady promoters in Salt Lake.
And still some, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Still,
I mean,
it's gotten better, 100%.
Yeah,
with
it has gotten better.
Like new, even with music with authentic sounds. You know, I don't know if you know about them. Very good. They're more English.
Right.
And I've talked to them about like Spanish stuff.
Right.
Because I feel like even the English people could gain a lot from bringing the Spanish people.
Right.
You know?
So what I'm trying to get
back
at
then
is,
there was a lot of shitty
yeah,
promoters.
so what was going on was that these promoters were semi-booking the shows, maybe paying deposits on certain shows. And because they felt they didn't sell enough tickets, they just let the artist keep the deposit.
Really?
And they never brought the artist.
Oh my God, bro.
So, and there was a lot of promoters that flaked on artists.
It's fucked
and
up.
I know because I saw it firsthand.
Yeah.
And it sucks because, you know,
It kills the business.
well, people start to be afraid
Yes.
of well, oh shit, so you're bringing so and so into town? How do I know it's true? How do I know if I buy my ticket, I'm going to be able to go to that show and see the artist perform?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that that's one of the reasons too, that if there's a Latin show here in Salt Lake City, the one thing that I've noticed even to date is that people wait till the day of the show to buy their tickets. They don't buy them online. They don't go to social media to buy them. They buy them at the door the day of the show.
Really?
They really do.
Damn. Well, I noticed that there was a lot of people reselling or buying tickets the day of the show.
Right.
You know, but I bought it early because I like to just be like,
Right.
ah, fuck it.
A lot of people buy them. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
don't want to be that guy waiting out in front,
Nah,
like,
fuck
you know,
that.
in the lines, right? But yeah, so, you know, but once again, it just goes back to like just shady promoters, bro.
Yeah.
You know, it's, and at the end of the day, my thing was like, oh, you want to hook up and do the show with this artist, but you don't want to follow through. And it sucks. Pero también es culpa, and I also blame some of the artists because there was some of the artists that would actually show up to do the show, but they felt there wasn't enough tickets sold.
Oh, fuck.
So they didn't get off the fucking bus.
That's fucked up.
And they were at the venue and they didn't get off the bus.
Wow.
And come and perform. Me as an artist, even if I got my deposit and I'm at the show, you know, is it really about that? It's about the fans as an artist, because without those fans, you're not going to be, and fans remember that forever, bro.
Yes. But you know what's funny? Bud Bunny actually talked about, he said when he came, right? When Bud Bunny came to Salt Lake City, I was watching
I think
him.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. I was watching him and he was like, this is my first time in Salt Lake City.
I knew you were going to say that.
I was like, Bud Bunny, what the fuck?
It's your second time, cabrón.
It's your second time. Do you think it's because there's been so many shows, so many people that he doesn't remember? I feel like he had to remember, bro.
No, I think he remembers, but he was just starting, and I think it was a smaller show for him. To him, it wasn't I mean, it was part of the New Religion tour. I have that poster up on my wall in the studio. I opened the show as a DJ.
Do you think it's a little bit of insecurity?
I think it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, mind you, he did the Delta Center now, you know, I mean, and he obviously sold a lot more tickets to this show than he did at the Maverick.
Oh yeah.
But I remember being with Dirty and I walking into that show and us setting up on stage for the Maverick show. And I was here with my daughter and I brought my daughter to see that show. And we're like literally sitting there and my daughter's like, Dad, that's not his first time here. Yeah. You have a video of his first time here. And
exactly.
I'm like, yeah, I know, baby. But I mean, it is what it is. But I think it is. I think it's the insecurities. And I also think it's because it was his first show for this tour, that he felt like new fans, new audience, new albums, new vibe.
Yeah.
It's my first show.
Yeah.
And I kind of give him that, but I was a little bugged about it.
I know, me too. I was just
I was a little salty about it. I'm not gonna lie, bro. But I was like, come on, cabrón.
You know, it's funny, bro. Lately, I've been dealing with this. I don't know if it's, a part of being a human, but I'm like, the more success you gain, the bigger you become, the more insecurity comes to you. So thus the more confidence you have to have. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know if you've ever felt this, but it happens where I'm like, man, I'm doing so much more. I should feel more confident, right?
Right.
But it's like,
your confidence level drops.
It drops. So I have to be constantly fighting to be more confident. I have to do new things to be more confident.
Yeah. I think what it is that now it's a higher standard. It's a higher standard, dog. Like you can't, you know what I'm saying? It's I mean, I hear even rumors of him after this tour, he's retiring. And the guys, and I say the kid don't mind, but he's like 30.
Yeah, that makes no sense, bro.
But you got people like Yankee and Don Omar that are, they're like, Don Omar is touring right now.
Yeah.
I'm actually here. I couldn't go to that show because I'm here, which is okay.
Yeah.
And Alcovid is opening the show for him. And he's like, oh, I got tickets for you and the family. No problem, but I'm going to be in Salt Lake. Give them to the girls.
Yeah.
But bro, what I'm trying to get at is you got younger artists now retiring, but because I think when you make it that big, that fast,
yeah,
I think it's different.
It is.
I really, and I've seen it. I've seen it from artist friends that I have that have blown up to be huge. And when you make it that big, that fast, you don't know who to trust. Mm-hmm. You don't know who your friends are. Your family turns against you. Your family wants this and that. You get people from the woodworks that are constantly asking you for things, and it kind of brings your confidence down, being like, oh, I'm doing this because I love it, but why the fuck am I doing this when all of a sudden I got all these people around me that are bringing me this negative vibe, this negative energy? It's like, it makes you kind of feel like you don't want to do this shit no more.
You know, it's funny, bro, you say that because that happened to me with soccer. I was 18 years old. Nobody else, none of my peers, all of my peers were thinking of, what am I going to do? Like, they were still in high school when I got my first contract, you know? And I remember just being so, like you said, paranoid. I didn't know who to trust. A whole country's talking shit on me, you know, and I'm going through these things, and you know, it just came too fast. And sometimes you have to have a like this. You build a shield that is so strong that nobody can get through it, but it's your own demise as well. And nowadays, I really wish, bro, I could have taken one more year. And it's weird because even with this stuff, I'm like, I'm not there yet. Yes, I'm impatient. But I'm like, oh, it's part of the process. Let's wait a little bit more because this is going to help me a little bit more for the long run. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think that's a big part of it. Like, you know, but there's never going to be I could have.
Never.
You know, as much as we'd like to go back and do things differently, you know, because I think about it all the time.
Yeah. Fuck.
And something my wife reminds me of, she's like, ya no hay ayer. Ahora es nomás mover para adelante. Ya no es lo pudieras haber hecho. Ahora es hay que hacerlo. And the thing is, you still can't do for tomorrow. You have to do for today.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow's not promised. And we know that as a fact.
Yeah.
tomorrow is not promised.
Well, that's why I think I'm very grateful at what I've been through. You know, at a very young age, I got some success. Then music came. I got some successes there as well. But with this, it's like, I know exactly how shit works now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm barely 30.
Yeah.
There's no way I could fuck up again. I could stumble and I could make mistakes, but I will never fuck up again.
But that's human.
Exactly, because I learned from such a young age that it's like, you can lose it like this.
Like that.
Everything, bro, my whole life I thought, oh, I'm going to get a contract. I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. 2 years after that, depressed, hated myself. I don't even want to play the thing that I loved with my whole life. Didn't want to do it anymore.
You know, I got to a certain point on my third album when I was signed to the label, to Fonovisa, and to where my PR was like, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I started nitpicking shows and she's like, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm just... You know, the producer that I'm working with that got me signed, like he's an asshole and I don't want to fuck with him no more. I want to do my independent thing and I want to get the checks because he's making all the money and I'm not. My family's over here struggling. Like we can't pay the rent on time. We can't pay the bills on time. And here I am signed to a major label. And I see these guys getting cut the checks.
Yeah.
They're getting the checks. They're getting the plaques and fuck the plaques.
Yeah.
I don't even care about the plaques. But I'm sitting here ghost writing for other artists like that were getting multi-platinum plaques. And I'm sitting here like, not even a thank you, not even a, here's a little mochadita because you did an amazing job and that record just went platinum.
Damn, bro.
And at the end of the day, so, it was like bittersweet. It's like, oh, well, that's dope, but fuck, like it sucks. Here we are, like trying to build something beautiful from it, trying to feed our families, and we can't even do that.
Yeah.
You know, so in my case, it was always learning as I go. It was a learning process. I got fucked so many times by managers, and you know, the first management deal I signed when I was 18, I got fucked royally, and I waited I took a hiatus of maybe 2 or 3 years. When I was 18, I took a hiatus because I wanted to just get out of the contract and let the contract expire. And my manager at the time was like, oh, we need to do another record. I'm like, nah, dude, I don't want to do another record with you. You're like making all the advances. You're making all the money. And here I am living in your back house. Can't pay my fucking rent.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Not even to you. I can't even pay my rent to you because you're not cutting me a check.
God,
it's like, but you're getting the check from the label. It's like, come on, bro. How does that work? How does that even make sense?
Yeah.
And I was making money, but I was making money on the DJ side, something he had nothing to do with. And it was, for me, it was a learning process. And that's one of the reasons too that I've had to learn everything on my own because I've been through it.
Yes.
So when an artist asks me, hey, Rolas, what's your take on this? Or how can I do this better? Or how can I do my publishing? Or how do you even do your publishing? Or how do I sign up to ASCAP, BMI, or CSAC as a writer? How do I do this? I don't negate, like I don't hold back from telling them the process. I don't tell them, oh, you got to fucking learn it on your own. Y ya te chingaste, güey. Si no sabes, ya te chingaste. No, bro. It's like
sharing the knowledge.
I'm thankful that I had to learn it on my own so that I can teach other people how to do it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want these younger artists nowadays going through what the fuck I had to go through.
Yeah.
And having to sign these fucked up ass deals so that they can be okay.
Yeah.
They don't have to be great. They can be okay as long as they get their little, as long as they know how to promote themselves. And with social media nowadays, you can blow the fuck up with one record.
Well, you know what's funny, David? I love nowadays, you know, I feel like when I was younger, I used to run from the struggle.
Yeah.
It was painful.
I think we all did, yeah.
Yeah. And nowadays, I feel like I became best friends with the struggle.
Yeah.
You know why? Because when I look back at my life, the only times I regret is when I didn't keep going.
Mm-hmm.
When I didn't get over that hard hurdle, right?
Yeah.
So nowadays, when there's some bullshit going on, when I'm so like pissed and I'm so impatient and I'm so mad, I'm like, yo, calm the fuck down. This is that point in your story that you're gonna look back to and say, did you jump that hurdle? And bro, it's like a brand new life that I'm like, oh, this is fun. This is gonna be a good chapter in my life. I'm excited.
You gotta take all that negative and turn it into a positive.
You have to do it, bro. You have to.
Now, if you decide not to do it, you decide to throw in the towel. And I've seen it happen with a lot of artists, and it sucks because there's so many talented artists, bro. And I've seen so many really, really dope fucking artists just throw in the towel and ya les valió verga.
And they were this close.
And they're that close. And
I could say myself, bro, I was this close.
You still kind of are. So but we're gonna keep that on a hush. But no, bro. But see, even in your case, you're still doing this. You're still part of it. This is still part of the process.
True. Yeah.
This is still part of the process.
I've been doing some things,
Yeah, this isn't you holding back and saying, fuck rap, I don't want to rap no more, fuck that shit. No, bro, it's already in your blood. Ya te chingaste, güey.
Yeah, I'm fucked.
Y te chingaste peor because you're dope at what you do. You're dope when you write lyrics. You're dope when you tell a story lyrically. Aside of even this, like you're amazing when you do this, but you're dope when you tell a story lyrically. And I know for a fact because there's vibes that we have that, primero Dios, hopefully the world will hear them soon. But what I'm getting at is that, sometimes you just got to hold on and you got to have, I think, patience. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to it. Patience is a virtue, bro. Yeah. And you can't jump the gun sometimes. Everybody's out there looking for a fucking a record label deal or a distribution deal or a big money deal. It's like, I was just talking to my boss at the radio station about that. And because just amongst me and my coworkers, we were like, my homegirl, Danero Costa, she's like, I want my bucket list. I want to make a record, Rolas. We should do this. and then my boss, Nelson comes in and then and I go, Nelson, what does it take for an artist to blow up? And he says, 1 record. And he told her that. And I said, you see, that could be on your bucket list. You make 1 record and you just never know what the fuck is going to happen.
So true.
All it takes is 1 record. And it doesn't matter. You could do tons of records and maybe nothing happens. Yeah. But then one day something is going to catch a spark.
1, bro.
Just 1. And you just never know what's going to happen. I mean, prime example, just going backwards a little bit. So 2015, I got here, right? I told you I needed to get out of LA.
Yeah.
2016. Submitted my shit for a Latin Grammy nomination. And it happened.
That was a big time, bro.
But it made me feel I really needed to leave LA for this to happen. I don't think it would have happened in LA.
You needed to find yourself.
I needed to find myself. And I needed to find myself musically. And what I did with that record, I recorded parts of that record. I mixed and mastered the record in LA, but I recorded the record here. And then I recorded the record in Miami. And then I came back to Salt Lake and finished the record. And then I mixed and mastered the record in LA. But when I submitted it, I was here. And I was still living here, of course. And I submitted the record. And I remember my boss at the radio station, Mary Lee, and I'm sitting in the production office working. And I was so locked into work. And I just hear, I hear her screaming and yelling and like, oh my God. I'm like, what the hell's going on? She's like, Rolas, come over here. And I ran over there and lo and behold, Latin Grammy nomination. And it happened here. That's another big reason why I love the lake and why I love being part of Salt Lake City. Yeah. Because when we got the nomination, I got on the phone. I called Fulanito. I called my boy Dose. I called my boy Cito Rocks. I said, hey, y'all fuckers need to come to Salt Lake because we need to do a show and at the same time shoot the video. And we shot the video for Dos Rosas here in Salt Lake City at the international, the park over here in the international park over here in downtown by downtown.
Well, that was big for the city and Latin culture, bro.
I was just thankful for the city itself and for it happening here. And I was just thankful at the end of the day. And mind you, at my age, I was just like, if this can happen to me as an independent artist, not even signed to a label, as an independent artist, if I could do this as an independent artist, anybody could do it.
Well, bro, I just think that people need to stop calling it independent artists. Just call yourself a business person.
An entrepreneur.
Yes, exactly. Bro, all you need to, like, I always tell artists, read a fucking book on Business 101 for Dummies.
The Business of Music.
Exactly.
Read that book.
Of course.
If you're in the music industry.
But even just business as a whole, marketing.
Business for Dummies.
And you know what I mean? Just read a book, like listen to a podcast about this, and you will find the knowledge. Because that's what, bro, people used to get killed for knowing how to read.
Yeah.
It's the knowledge that will help you. You know what I mean? Like,
something I remember as a kid, knowledge is power.
Exactly, bro. What do you think? So, as the Latin community in Utah grows,
right,
and it becomes bigger and it evolves, what do you think a Latin artist in Utah can do to be more recognized or push the boundaries to make a statement in the music industry?
So one of the things that when we were like, even going back to when we were talking about making an impact in Salt Lake with just Latin music in general, and we're talking about Latin commercial music, radio shit, right?
Yeah.
I started going to clubs and started meeting people that were actually artists, but that never really put anything out.
Yeah.
They were just kind of doing it. But I think because they weren't educated on it, and not saying that they were dumb. No, it's just they didn't know how to go about and, well, how do I do this or how do I do that? And so slowly I would, meet new folks and introduce myself or vice versa, or whatever. They would come and meet me. And I just started educating folks on, like, yo, get your publishing straight, get your writer straight, find independent distribution companies. Even if, I think you have to, as an artist, and this is key to any artist, not even just Salt Lake, but just any independent artist in general, is you have to invest in yourself.
100%,
bro. You're real quick to go pop a bottle at the club, but what about buying some ads? Or what about like shooting a video? Or what about doing this and that and the other? Fuck the club and fuck popping a bottle. You could do that later once you invest in yourself and the record blows up.
100%, bro. I hate when motherfuckers go to a club, pop bottles, spend the money that they could have used to pay a model to listen to the song, post it on the Instagram reel or in the back of the story, and how people, who else is watching those hot girls?
Have fun, be the guy that shows up to the club and they comp you a bottle.
Exactly.
Why? Because they want artists that, like you, local artists like you, that are making an impact at the, in the scene. They want artists like you there. So they're going to comp you a bottle.
Yes, exactly.
Let them comp you a bottle and take that money that you would spend on buying that bottle and invest it in your fucking video. Invest it on your promotion. Invest it on merchandise. Bro, I've seen artists that I know from LA, and prime example, my buddies from Crooked Stilo.
Yeah.
They make tons of money just on merch. Because they're crazy. Like, Rolas, whatever money we get coming in from our music, I give some to my, Victor from Crooked, he says, I give some money to my brother Johnny, and then I keep a little bit of money, and then whatever's left over, we reinvest it. So we use that strictly for merch.
Yeah.
So we reinvested into the merch, and then the merch doubles and triples up.
Exactly.
So now we got a little bit more over here, a little bit more over here. Now we got a profit for the company, and then we have a little bit of money to do more merch and put out more records. It's like, dude, invest in yourself. Yeah. I think that's super key. Is just, man, take because we all work hard.
Yeah.
There's a lot of independent artists that are working really hard, regular 9-to-5 jobs, and they bust their ass.
Yes, 100%.
And they're still like, fuck, I love this music shit. I'm never going to make it. No, feel like always tell yourself, I'm going to do this. Yeah. If you really want to do it, like, put it into the universe, voice it, say, I'm really going to fucking do this one way or another, and really fucking do it. And if you have a regular job, know how to balance it. Know how to balance your finances. Of course, take care of your bills. Like, don't pay for all your music and then forget to pay your rent.
Yeah, then if stress comes along and it fucks up your...
It fucks everything up. Yeah. You know what I mean? But, and I know because it's happened to me firsthand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll be the first one to admit it.
Yeah.
But know to balance out your what you got to pay, take care of bills and family first. Y lo poquito que te sobra, use some of that.
Yeah.
To invest in your music.
Yeah.
And then you'll notice the change. You'll notice that your music is getting better, your content is getting better, your videos are getting better, you're getting more hits, you know, you have to do it.
Yeah.
You know, take a chance on yourself. And I think right now is the time where artists, especially independent entrepreneurs, let's call them that, independent entrepreneurs now, take advantage of investing in yourself right now, because right now is a good time to do it.
Well,
because music is changing a little bit.
Yes,
more
bro. But if you think about it, David, like real shit, you're a company. Like in the Spanish culture, it's a lot more like normal to call yourself una compañía.
Claro.
Right? But not in the English thing. For some reason in America, we don't know that we're a company. You build an LLC, and then who do you think is going to sign? What do you think the record label is going to sign? It's going to sign the LLC, not you. So now you're not a part of the whole deal. You're a loner. You know, you're a lone star.
Right.
So then you can navigate your life. But the only way you can do that is if you're smart of business, if you have your LLC.
Right.
You know?
And that's easy, bro.
It's easy. It's so
easy. I have an LLC. I mean, it's easy to do it. And going to what you just said, not to interrupt you, but going to what you just said, right. Bro, you have expenses. Yes. But I'm going to tell you something. So you could take that LLC, start dropping all these records, and you might put together a sick ass album.
Yeah.
Then you could take that album as an LLC and shop that to a label. And they just signed you as a company.
Exactly.
And then maybe you might not get a huge advance. But see, this is the key. If you get an advance, don't go buy a fucking chain and don't go pop bottles and don't go, you know what? If you're making car payments, finish paying your car.
Yes.
You know, take minor things, but take the lot of that advance and pay your producers.
Yes.
Pay for your features. Doesn't have to be a lot of money. Dude, your producer, if you gave him a couple $100, he'd be like,
be happy, bro.
He'd be like, damn, I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Take care of the people that take care of you.
Yes.
Which is key.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's still a learning process with everybody. Sometimes we don't get huge advances. Sometimes we don't get a lot of big money. And sometimes it's about, okay, there's an opportunity on the table. There's no money on the table really, but you can partner up with people to actually take a chance and actually make a really incredible situation happen out of nothing and make money on the back end.
Well,
on the writers and the publishing
yes.
and royalties that come from doing other things. So,
what artists don't understand, David, is that it really is just a loan.
It really is, because you pay that back.
It's just a loan. So I've always said, let's say I got $100,000 from a label, right? First thing I would do is learn how to fucking engineer.
Yeah.
Off the gate.
Pay for school.
Yeah, because the biggest expenses are those, like going beat, doing all of that shit. And then struggle just to make a good body of work by yourself with the least amount of money.
Right.
Right? Then you turn that into, then you get that money. Right. And then you use it for promotion, marketing, and then you push it, right?
Right. See, you have the right idea.
It's just
listen.
It's just a business mindset. Everybody knows that if you start a business, you do with the least amount of money. Like I love marketing and I love pushing content because that's all you need.
And you know what? At the end of the day, it's still okay. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's still okay. Like once, say for example, like what you just said, take a little bit of that money and put it into different situations that are going to help you maximize that advance, right? And if you happen to have a little bit left over, hey, it's okay to pay a bill.
Yes.
It's okay to pay your rent for 2 or 3 months.
It's actually really good for your mental side.
Yeah. It's not okay to go buy a gold chain. And it's not okay to get to the club and just pop a bunch of bottles and lose the rest of the money once again. But it is okay for you to pay some bills, catch up, you know what I mean, on some bills, because then that's going to help you to not stress about your personal situation, but you already know you already got this money put aside for marketing, you got this money put aside for promotion, you got this money put aside for merchandise, you got this money put aside for advertising, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I mean, and trust me when I tell you, there is labels out there still looking for artists now. Actually now, even more so, looking for independent artists with independent labels or even just independent artists, and they're giving advances.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I know because I've talked to a few. I have a few friends that have gotten some major advances. for projects. But there is labels.
But that's the weird thing. If you're an entrepreneur like me, I have a business, right?
Right.
It'll be hard. I feel like labels do go. The hardest thing I feel like for an artist is that the label needs you to go broke. Why? Because they have an upper hand.
Right.
If I go as an artist right now, as I am right now, right? I make my own promotion. I make my own videos. What do I need help with from these people? I make my own music. I engineer my own music. They don't see a profit from me because I have my own business. I don't need you, right?
Right.
So to them, that's weird.
That's why they're trying to sign 360 deals.
Exactly. To them, just that's like, we can't make a profit over you, so you might not need us.
Yeah.
So then it becomes harder for people like me. That it's like, it's easier because then I owe and everything. Now it's on me. I love that shit, bro. I love having that weight that it's like, it's
because it makes
me.
you work harder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would do is maybe
actually not even work harder. Work smarter, not harder.
Yes, exactly. The best thing you could do is, in my position or anybody who's in that position, is partner up with them. Because at the end of the day, I could be like, I need you. I need that section of that label that I don't have that's going to help me. Then we can partner up.
Right.
Now we have a 60, a 40 or a 50-50. Or
there's better deals. Yeah, you can do 80-20 deals. You can do 60-40 deals.
But one of the reasons why Bud Bunny has one of the best deals.
Oh, his deal is amazing.
Oh, crazy. But you know what?
Oh my God, his deal is like a very special deal.
Oh, insane. But you know why though? Because he even says, he goes, I didn't waste no money at all. He would have to ask his friends.
Yeah, I think his deal's like 90-10 or something.
Oh, but he would have to ask his friend like, hey, can I buy this? He'd be like, yes, you can buy it. He'd be like, okay, I'm gonna buy it. Because I feel like he loved the struggle. He stayed in the struggle because to make good art, you need to marinate yourself in the struggle and get something out of it. Yeah. It's the source of art. It's the source of creativity. It's that struggle. Yeah. When your back is against the wall, that's when you come up with the craziest, most creative ideas. Yeah. It's not when you're in the silk sheets and you're happy drinking chocolate. You know what I mean? It's not that time. It's when everything is tough. That's why I say if you do get any type of blessing, keep it, but don't spend it. Keep it and marinate yourself in that struggle. Think of what you're gonna do, and then make your next move.
Be smart.
Yes, and that's hard for a lot of people nowadays. You know?
Yeah, man. I mean, you got to be smart about the decisions you make in the industry, man. I look at, and back when I first started, like I said, I fucked up by just signing the wrong deals, and but when I got to Fonovisa, I started making the right decisions. I fired my first producer after my first album, 2003, when we did Malagradecida and the Nuestra Vida album. Yeah. I fired my producer. And because I didn't like the way he was producing the records, and I didn't think it was right. I mean, they became great records. It's a great album. But I told him, and I took it upon myself, I'm going to get the advance for production, and I'm going to pay my producers, and I'm going to take care of my team so that we could produce our own records. Because what's happening is you're taking the advance, you're producing, and you're taking royalties, and you're taking this, and you're taking that, and then you're cutting me 30% of nothing really that we're, so you're seeing not only the production money come in and the advance come in and all this other stuff come in. So you're basically getting rich off of me.
Fuck that.
So I fired him after the first album.
Good.
He still had a piece of it because he got me my deal. He still had a piece of whatever we did, which is fine. But all from then on, all the advances came to me. And I took care of my production team. I took care of all my producers. I took care of my squad for the next 2 albums. And we had the budgets for the video and everything set. And we didn't see much money profited. I mean, the guys did because they were getting paid for their work. Yeah. Not me, because I was paying them for their work. Yeah. But it was okay. We look back at those albums now and we're like, fuck, we own those albums. Like, those are our albums. We own the masters part of the masters to those albums. Like, so it's amazing because now to this day, I still have amazing relationships with those producers. And anytime I call them for a favor and like, hey, we need to get back in the lab and do something, they're like, let's go, let's work.
Damn.
Right off the bat. Because not only did we do movie shit, did we do all this other shit, but we had the albums and I was very transparent with them.
Yeah.
And you have to be transparent with people sometimes. Sometimes shit catches you off guard and people aren't transparent. I try to be as transparent as possible, but because people don't know the industry, they take it wrong.
Yes.
They take it very, very wrong. And it sucks because then you look like the bad guy later. And then I'm like, no, bro, but
Fuck.
I explained everything. I told you everything. Everything's on paper. It's on black and white. Like, I don't understand what part of that you don't understand.
Yeah.
And that goes back to reading.
Yeah.
And educate yourself.
Not being ignorant. Right. One of the things I feel like...
Or asking questions, bro.
Yeah.
Asking questions. Asking people that are really educated in the business, like ask them. Like, hey, what do you think about this situation? Don't go and ask an attorney because an attorney wants you to pay them for their service. No, ask people that you know that are into the industry that have done it. If you happen to know those folks. Yeah. Or go into blogs, go into websites and just research for yourself. Yeah, what you could do to make it better. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I feel like a lot of artists don't know the difference between talent and skill.
Oh.
Because talent, it's potential based.
Yeah.
It's all potential. Talent, people talk about talent, I don't give a fuck. It's skill that makes you successful. Because skill teaches you everything. Like you said, learn how to read, learn the laws, learn the up and downs, learn everything, right? It's skill that takes a long time. And that discipline, only comes from that skill.
Yeah, well, discipline is part of it.
Exactly, but a discipline only transforms into discipline if you have consistency.
You have the skill.
Consistency, right? And so I feel like a lot of people forget that fuck the talent, it's the skill. And the skill has to do with everything. We're learning who to call, who to talk to, who to be around, where to invest, how to invest, everything, bro. It's hard for artists sometimes to just get the fuck out of music for just a minute.
Oh, bro.
Don't fucking think about music for like 2 seconds.
It's nice to take a breath of fresh air.
Yes, and you learn so much more.
Yeah, bro.
It's like when you're with your girl, you fight, you get 5 minutes away and you're like, fuck. And then you learn, you're like, fuck yeah, I should have done this. I should have said this, right? That's with music, the same thing.
Yeah, it works the same way.
You should take maybe a week off and be like, damn. And then you start thinking, fuck, I fucked up on this, on that, and this. Maybe that melody wasn't right. Maybe I didn't talk to the right people. The promotion wasn't right.
Yeah.
Because you got away from it a little bit.
Yeah.
The sea looks a lot better from the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy down there.
Yeah. The view is way better.
Exactly. The view is way better, So, man, David, it's been a great time, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm having fun, like hollering at you. I know maybe we could do another vibe later on and talk about a bunch of other stuff, but bro, I'm just thankful, bro, for people like you that give people like me an outlet to be able to talk shop and hang out and have a good time and at the end of the day, do something special, man. I think what you're doing is something really special, Maikon, and I think the people need to hear what you have to say because I think, aside of even lyrically because of your music, but what you have to say, in regards to even just doing interviews with folks, I think it's amazing what you do. And que Diosito te bendiga, bro, and give you a lot more vibe, a lot more life. And just keep doing what you do, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Keep doing what you do.
And same to you, man. I feel like, again, success is only measured by the things not by the things you've done, but by the people you've touched, by how you make them feel, and I'm grateful that you always made me feel a part of something. And you always made me feel welcome.
Well,
and because of that, it goes deeper than music. It goes deeper than Latin roots. It goes deeper than that. And that's just I'm very grateful for what you've taught me and what the type of energy we've shared.
I want to keep sharing that energy with you, bro. So,
bro, that means that vibe. That means the world, bro.
No, Thank you
for everything, bro.
No, bro, shit. I appreciate you, and you're a dime a dozen, bro. Like you don't. I mean, not a dime a dozen. That's the wrong saying that I meant. You're a diamond in a coal mine. Like you're special. You're something special, bro. Like I really feel like you're something really special. And you have something special. You've always had something special about you, bro. But it's also your energy that transmits to other people. And I've never, from day one with you, it's always been amazing, positive energy. And I love that about you, bro.
That's funny, bro. The first time I ever met you, we were in different seats.
We were actually.
People don't know that, bro. And it's like
you're at the station with me. We were, yeah.
That's the first time I met you, and I was like, bro, look, I made this song, and it was that flexing.
I remember that. And the song was playing in the stadium, and it was a very different situation.
Bro, see that's crazy. We've been successful, bro.
Bro, you know, I think it's just hard work and patience and persistence, bro. I mean, everything pays off. And like you said, sometimes we need to take a break from something to make something else shine. And you know, at the end of the day, I think it's still beautiful at the end. But yeah, I mean, that's good advice to give people. Sometimes take a break and then just take a breather and then come back to it.
Yeah, bro, because I promise you, man, now that I look back in time, if I could go back, because remember, there's no could have been, you know, that shit's stupid. But if I could go back, now I know what to do just because I took a long ass break. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just taking, it's looking at it from a different point of view.
Different perspective, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all love.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate you.
Oh, yeah. And to you guys, love yourself, drink water, and please stop cheating because goddamn, there's a lot of cheating going on. David, God, bro.
Stay focused. Stay focused. Pórtense bien, no sean malcriados.
Please, and soon I probably, you know, with the help of God or time, I want to start a podcast in Spanish, bro.
We should do it. We kind of did the Spanglish thing, you know. Hey, we wanted to focus on something else, but we did the Spanglish. It's all love. It's all love.
Nah, it was a good time, bro. Thank you.
Saludos a todos. Thank you guys for watching.
Peace out.
Peace.
Yo, that was dope, bro.
It was just fun.
That was a vibe, bro.
It was fun, bro.
You like that?
Yeah, it was fun.
Hell yeah.
I kind of feel like I was all over the place, but it was...
No, but that's what I wanted to be now, bro. I feel like for the longest time, it was kind of like, I don't want to be a journalist. You know, like I want to be someone who's like energy because I look up to Joe Rogan so much.
Oh, he's a beast.
And he just, hey, we're just talking about shit. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Like, I'm so tired of being like, I need to have questions. No, bro. Just talk.
Yeah.
Because, you know, since the beginning of time, the first form of entertainment that we ever had was sitting around a fire in a rock, probably.
Telling stories.
And just, talking to each other.
Yeah.
Just saying things. And I'm like, the world is coming back to that.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing now. Everybody's doing that now.
It's super important, bro.